For the 13B notes, we are talking about confidence intervals. And the first thing to note is that you could have a z-score or a t-score. So we have some new stuff on the formula sheet. We have two error formulas, and it all depends on the size of your sample. So looking at the formula sheet, if your n is less than 30, to find your t of alpha over 2, you're going to have to use this t-dist formula. If n is 30 or more, if your sample size is 30 or more, then you can go with the old z of alpha over 2 and use this error formula. So we're going to start the same way we always do. We're going to talk about what is our claim, what are our null and alternate hypotheses, and what does mu mean. So in this case, mu is standing for the average amount of assets held by local credit unions in millions of dollars. And the claim is that that mu is more than $7 million, and that is the alternate. And then the null hypothesis is that mu is less than or equal to $7 million. So we are going to start, because we have data like this, we're going to enter it into Desmos, L equals square bracket. And that is actually on the gold sheet down here in 13D. It does say where L equals. So that is right there. And then we're going to do like we did on number 2, where we found, after we entered L, we found the mean and the standard deviation and all of that. So we're going to do that because our n is 12, that means we're going to use a t-test. And that means we're going to have to use this error formula. So we need to figure out what these things are. So the first thing we'll do in Desmos is we'll do m equals mean of L. We'll figure out that. And then we'll do lowercase s equals STDEV of L. And then we'll do t equals, and we'll use our t-dist formula from the formula sheet. So let's go to Desmos and see what we have there. So here I've put in all of the data, and then I'm putting in m equals mean, and I want to put in m equals so that I have less to type later. So I don't have to type the 11.8333 or round it or whatever. Standard deviation, I'm going to do s equals STDEV. And then for my t, I will do this negative t-dist. Now this number 12 is because my n is 12. And then for alpha over 2 here, oops, I'm going to use, sorry, I need to hide this guy. I'm going to use 0.025 because when you look at the confidence level, 95% confidence level means my alpha is 0.05. So my alpha over 2 is 0.025. So for my t formula, remember that was negative t dist, and then my n is 12 minus 1, and then dot inverse CDF. And it says to use either alpha over 2 or CR, but the alpha over 2 is what I'm going to use here for the confidence interval. Okay, so the all three of those I get from my Desmos here. So my mean is 11.83, my standard deviation is 7.59, and my t-dist is 2.20. So I'm going to go ahead and write those down. 2.20. Okay. So then I'm going to put those into my formula for E. So I'm just going to make this smaller so I have a little more room to write. Okay, so in my formula for E, I will put 2.20 for the T of alpha over 2. And then for S, in Desmos, I don't need to do that. In Desmos, I'll just write T times parentheses S over square root of 12. So that way I don't have to worry about rounding. And I've just put it all into Desmos. And so when I put it into Desmos, I get this 4.819, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to say 4.82. So my error is plus or minus 4.82, or you could just say 4.8. So error is plus or minus $4.8 million. Okay, and then because I saved this guy as M and I saved this guy as E, to find my confidence interval, I'm just going to do M plus E and M minus E. So I will do M plus E in Desmos and M minus E in Desmos, and that will give me my 7.01 whatever and 16.653 whatever. So then I can write my confidence interval sentence. We are 95% confident that the true average assets held by local credit unions is between $7.0 million and $16.7 million. I don't know why I have an extra dollars here because I have the dollar sign, so I don't need that. Okay, so that is how you do it when you have a set of data. So remember, you can put it all into Desmos. Remember, for the M minus E, M plus E, that gives me the low and the high of my confidence interval.